So today I'm going to walk you guys through a one-pan dinner. It's super easy. We're going to do some salmon burgers and some dill potatoes and green beans all in one sheet pan. So it's really fast and easy and very little cleanup. The first thing is that we're going to chop about a half an onion and put the other half to the side. The onions, just going to do a little rough chop for these. And then we're going to fan them out into the bowl, kind of like half rings, like that. And then we're going to take 4 potatoes. There's 4 people eating tonight, so 4 little potatoes. These are gold potatoes, they're my favorite. And I heated them up in the microwave for about 3 minutes beforehand so that they will bake a little bit easier and faster on the pan and that they won't take too long to bake and make everything else burn. Once those are in the bowl, we're going to take our dill, and my dill has pretty thick stalks because I got it out of the garden, but if it does have thick stalks, I like to kind of twist the tall parts off the stalks. And then I just kind of roll it up on the cutting board in a little tight roll, and then just give them a little quick chop. And this does not have to be perfect. This is an easy, fast dinner. And that goes in with the potatoes and the onions. And then we do about a teaspoon of salt on top of that. Actually, make that 2 teaspoons. And then we do about 1 tablespoon of garlic. And I love to use the garlic paste because it is quick and easy, but cloves will work just as well. Probably about 3 to 4. And then we've got about 4 tablespoons of melted butter right off the top there. And then take this and stir it up, just get it good and mixed. I'm gonna get all the dill mixed in with the potatoes and the onions, and I can smell it. It smells really good, and I can't wait. And then we're just going to do a little bit of cracked pepper. And then give it another little stir. So the potatoes are going to be the first thing to go onto our prepped tray. I just did a little parchment paper, and we're just going to set them off to the side. Just make a nice little pile. And I'm going to scooch them over so they don't take up too much of the pan, and then flatten them out just a little bit. And then we set our pan back off to the side and start the green beans. Okay, so the green beans are actually the easiest part of this. I've already prepped them. I just cut off the ends and put them in a strainer and rinse them off. And all we're going to do is just set them off to the side on the opposite side that we have the potatoes. And from there, we're just going to add a couple slices of butter and just a little bit of cracked pepper. And just a little bit of salt. And then I just like to kind of use around my hands a bit. And then we take our tray and put it back off to the side and start the salmon burgers. Okay, so the salmon is pretty easy. I've started off with about 5 little fillets. I defrosted them and then put them on paper towels to dry out really well. This is about 1 pound of salmon. And first we're gonna really finely dice this onion, because this goes into the salmon burgers. You could also use a shallot if you prefer. I like onions. You could use a red onion. more of a chop some of those big pieces out. I have not mastered the art of being able to look at the camera while I chop yet. I don't think you guys want to see me whack a finger off. So we're gonna put that in the bowl. Ooh, got the onion eyes going on there. It's giving me the tears. And then we're gonna wine for sure. Okay, so then we have our salmon. And we're just gonna take it and chop it into basically as tiny little pieces as we can. Okay, so we're chopping the salmon up just into tiny little pieces, but it doesn't have to be like pureed or like really diced, just as small as you can get it. And one by one, we'll put those fillets right there in the bowl. You're almost cubing it and then kind of shredding it, giving it a little bit of a dice. Okay, so now we've got our diced up salmon, diced up onions. We're gonna add about 1/3 of a cup of green chili, and you can, any kind of canned or jarred green chili will do. About a teaspoon of cumin, about a teaspoon of salt. We're gonna do a little bit of pepper. And we're gonna do another tablespoon of our garlic paste. You could also use cloves here, 3 or 4 would do it. And then we're gonna crack an egg in there. And then give it a good mix. And mix it up a little bit. It's gonna look about like that. See, it's kind of goopy. I'm gonna add about 1/2 cup of almond flour to the mix. If you don't do gluten-free, you could do breadcrumbs here. I tend to keep most of our dinners gluten-free, but breadcrumbs would work just as well. And I do have gluten-free ones. But I like the almond flour. I kind of like the taste. It gives it a little bit of a crunch. Okay. You could also add some herbs in here, cilantro, some oregano or something might be good. If green chili is not your thing. And I always take a drink of wine after I finish a big task. And then here's the fun part. We're going to form these into patties and then put them on the tray. Okay, so we're gonna take about 2 good handfuls of this and just kind of form it into a little patty. Just pat it. And we're gonna just set it right here on the tray, and then just repeat until you're done with the salmon mixture and your tray is full. Okay, now this is kind of gross, but if there's a little excess water in your salmon, you're gonna wanna kind of squeeze it out. You don't want them to be too juicy or else they won't cook up quite like we want them to. So let me pat that down. And that pound made about 5 really good sized salmon cakes here. You could make them a little smaller or a little bigger if you wanted. So now I'm gonna put just a little bit of avocado oil onto these green beans because they look a little dry, like that butter may not melt evenly. So I just put a little bit more oil in there, and I'm going to take my salt and just do one more quick once over the whole tray. And one more quick once over the tray with the pepper. I like pepper. And then this is what it looks like. And we're going to bake this at 400 for about 20 minutes. And I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so we can see everything has cooked up quite nicely and it all fits really well on the pan. And I'm gonna let it sit here and cool for about 3 or 4 minutes before we serve it. And I am gonna squeeze just a little bit of lemon on the salmon and the potatoes.